What's up people and welcome to another video. This video is going to be a review of the latest Predator movie that was titled Predator Killer of Killers. Well, more than a review, it's basically my thoughts about the movie. So when you think of Predator, what comes to mind is a tactical alien hunting down people, animals, or basically any living creature that crosses its path. And hence, one of the main aspects of the Predator movie is the violence and gore element. And I must say, this movie does not disappoint in that aspect. Now, before I continue talking about this movie, I just really want to appreciate the previous part of the Predator franchise that came out. And that movie was titled Prey. The movie, even though it didn't get much traction or attention on the Predator, I found it to be an interesting concept and really loved watching it, as they did something different by traveling back in time during the period of Native or early Americans. I wouldn't really call it great, but I will say that I really had a good time watching it. Now coming back to this new movie, first of all, I will say that making this movie an animated one was a good choice, because the kind of events that are being shown over here, the time periods that we travel to, really demanded the use of animation in order to better present them. So as I was saying, the violence and the gore element in the Predator franchise even continues in this movie. Well, I wouldn't basically tell it a movie because it was an anthology of various short stories that was combined into one, which go on to connect in the end. But I would be getting into spoiler territory if I talk about the end. I can tell you this, it's a good movie to watch. The thing that stands out apart from animation and the violence part is the character backstory, the character emotions that the movie takes time to build. So even though this movie is a combination of multiple short stories, each short story makes sure that the protagonist or the character that is being highlighted gets his or her proper character build-up and a backstory, so that the viewers or the audience can understand who he or she is and what are the emotions that are driving that character. The other part of the movie that I really felt interesting was showcasing different types of predator in each of the short stories. So during all the three storylines, we don't have a single type of predator. We have different types of predator but from the same species. I'll leave it to you guys to watch it and understand what I mean. The other thing being the fight sequences and the fight choreography. And I must tell you, the fight choreography, the fight scenes in this movie are really good, and they are animated so well you will enjoy watching them. At least the first two storylines. But is everything about this movie really good? And I can say it's not. Because the initial two storylines that you witness, I found it to be really engaging and good. Whereas the last storyline, the third part, personally I just didn't find it that interesting. It would have been great if that part was swapped for a timeline, maybe in medieval Europe or ancient Europe, where a knight or some kind of ancient medieval warrior fights that predator. That would have been cool, maybe even more interesting and engaging to watch. Coming to the ending, final storyline of the end, where all the three storylines combine, I can understand the makers were trying to make it slightly engaging. Personally, I don't think it hit the mark, and I was not that involved in the end. But I would recommend, if you are a Predator franchise fan, this movie is a good watch. And make sure you stick till the end, because this movie shows a connection to the previous movie Prey that was released with a small scene. Anyways, these were my thoughts. Do leave your comments below and what you thought about this movie, and if you enjoyed watching it. I would really want to know what were the specific things that you really enjoyed about this movie and what were the things that you felt were just not that good. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, see ya.